I'm a father of two children. I'm 50 years old, and I have been very successful in the private sector.
Program specialist for the Louisiana FFA Association, and I am a freshman at LSU.
I have a wonderful job with a wife and two kids. We're living the life that we've always wanted to right now.
I'm an upcoming junior at Louisiana State University in agriculture education, and my dream is to be an international educator.
I took a non-traditional route. I started college and did not finish. I left because of financial reasons and other stuff, and started working in industry. Then I went into business for myself. I've learned a lot of different trades and been very well at it.
Well, I was working for the FFA, and the opportunity came up that I could go to college with a tuition exemption. And so, since you're never too old to learn, I decided to go back to school.
I've worked really hard my entire life. My parents instilled me with the ideal that if you work hard, you can get to where you want to be. And so through that combination of hard work and perseverance, it's gotten my wife and I to where we are in life today.
A lot of ups and downs, but I decided that I wanted to have a big dream and work really hard for it.
Figure out what you want to do. If you do not know what you want to do, start trying different things. Learn trades, go to college, whatever is going to fit you, you go for it. But if you don't know what it is, try different things till you find it.
Well, sometimes in life you don't get a choice. So whatever you're handed, you make the best of that choice, and you move forward in that choice and in that decisions that you make.
The biggest thing to know about choices is that all choices we make have consequences. Sometimes those consequences are positive, sometimes they're negative. And as we get older, it's important to think about down the road where you want to be in life, and the choices that we make today, where is that going to leave you in your future?
Don't be afraid to take risks and to work really hard for what you want.
My choices got me here.
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 We make choices every day. Our choices decide the endings which we receive. Each choice, each decision, each option we take lay the stepping stones to the conclusions of our stories. You see, we lay stepping stones for our lives and our stories each and every day. About 2 years ago, one of my best friends in the entire world began a very serious relationship. She had just graduated from college, started her first real job, and was really settling into life. But just as life goes, a curveball was thrown into the mix, and she fell in love. It was like lovebirds in the air, Cupid with arrows, a whole romantic movie. As this romantic movie started to roll out, I saw my best friend become happier. I watched her fall deeply and madly in love with a man that fit with her like a puzzle. So soon enough, they got engaged and the wedding planning started. From the wedding dress to the flowers to the altar, everything just felt right. And on the perfect day, with the lovebirds still in the air, they got married. A few months later, after she had had time to settle into her married life, I asked her a question that always kind of bothered me. I asked her, can you fall out of love with someone? And now I was fully expecting my newlywed of a best friend to say, no, never could I imagine falling out of love. But she didn't. She told me that she wakes up every day and chooses to love her husband. That love is a choice. And to be honest with you, it's not always an easy one. Her answer caught me by surprise. Love is a choice. We choose to love every day. Our choices decide who we are. They place stepping stones in our paths and ultimately design our lives. The average person makes 35,000 choices a day, which is 12,775,000 choices a year. I could spend hours talking about the choices we can make, from what to eat, to what to wear, to what to study, to whether or not you should stay up watching Netflix at 3 a.m. or not. But each of you already knows that our lifetime is filled with choices. What I do want to share with you is the importance of our decisions and the impact that our choices can have. As state officers, we have the opportunity to travel and visit with many different chapters during our year. Each chapter and each member are full of memories and stories that are inspiring. One particular chapter visit that I was fortunate enough to go on really left quite an impression on me. During this visit, the advisor had asked me to tell her students about my journey in the FFA and my year service as a state officer. So I told them about the contest I competed in and how I became a state officer. I pretty much gave them my whole life story in a matter of like 30 minutes, from my cows to how I lost my shoe running on stage when I was nominated for state president. The whole shebang. After the class left, I was sitting with the school's advisor talking about different things whenever the guidance counselor walked in. Naturally, the guidance counselor and the advisor started having a conversation about different things that were happening in their school and within their community. I was listening, adding in a few comments every now and then, until the guidance counselor said something that really intrigued me. She started to discuss how students she worked with and mentored did not realize that the decisions they were making now could affect their entire lives. She went on to tell me that these students were making damaging life choices and were seemingly unaffected by them. She went on to explain that these students came from backgrounds where good choices were not easily found or really expected. While mentoring these students, she told them we are not always put into the most ideal families or situations, but we get to choose what we do with our choices. We are not our family's choices, we are not our parents' choices, we are not our friends' choices, and we do not have to let our situations dictate the quality of our choices. As a guidance counselor, she talks and listens to students every single day. Students who are just like each and every one of us. She knows firsthand how as young people we feel invincible and on top of the world at times. But she's also aware of the sense of entitlement we feel in our current generation. As a generation, we are so concerned with how a situation affects us and what we're going to get out of it that we do not even take the time to acknowledge how the situations and the actions we take affect those around us. Our generations, our families, and our situations do not define us. Therefore, we do not have to let our circumstances affect the quality of our choices, because the choices we make and the actions we take do define us. The date, September 11th, 2001, is a date that is unforgettable. While many of us cannot remember this day and its tragic events personally, we are all aware of the travesty that took place. Our country experienced one of its worst terrorist attacks in its history. There are many different stories and acts of heroism that took place on this day, but there's one I would like to share with you. These terrorist attacks took place in 3 different locations. 2 planes hit the Twin Towers, 1 hit the Pentagon, and 1 crashed in rural Pennsylvania. The 4th plane that crashed in rural Pennsylvania was thought to be targeting the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. However, ordinary people who made a choice were able to alter the plane's course and prevent it from crashing into the Capitol and killing hundreds. One of the passengers on the 4th plane, named Todd Beamer, made a choice to gather the other male passengers and attack the 3 hijackers that were controlling their plane. This, by no means, was an easy choice. But Todd Beamer and the other male passengers were willing to risk their lives and able to protect a group of people at the Capitol that they did not even know. This was truly a selfless act. They were able to make a choice, and their choice saved many. While we will not make life-saving choices every single day, we will make decisions that affect others and our futures every single day. While I was preparing for today, I asked a lot of influential people that I have in my life about their lifetime of choices and the best advice they had to give about them. And this is what they said. When making choices and decisions, there's 4 things you should do. First, do your research. Analyze the situation and try to figure out all possible outcomes. Secondly, seek advice. Those wiser than us have probably been in our same situation. Then weigh the consequences of the decision and decide if it's worth it. And lastly, think logically. Emotions make us choose rash, unhealthy options. If we take the time to look at our decisions and examine how they affect others and our futures, we are more likely to make the good choice. However, just because we make a good choice does not mean it's going to be an easy one. Just like Todd Beamer and all those other passengers on the 4th plane, a good choice can still be a hard one. We need to understand how our choices affect us and those around us. We are young, but we do not have to be naive. My newlywed of a best friend showed me the importance of our daily choices. The guidance counselor explained that we get to make our own choices. And Todd Beamer demonstrated the impact that our choices can have. Our choices help write our lifelong stories. Whether your choices lead you to college, to getting married, or to starting your own business, they lay down the paths that we take. We choose to love. We choose to educate ourselves. We choose to work hard. We choose to show acts of kindness. We choose what we do with our choices.